Hello, my lovely friends. How are you doing today? Oh my God, look, I clipped them off. They're short. Oh my God, they're so short. Oh, I got so used to having long nails. I thought, well, maybe it's time I shorten them down a little bit. But anyway, so I am going to share with you. Now, I'm going to be doing a nail couture on this hand here. I've already did part of it, that way it wouldn't be such a long video, but I just had to do an infill in the back part. But I'm going to be using, now this is an old bottle I have. This is a nail couture, and I'll link that down below for you guys, because look, I've like tore the paper off of it. I like this gel, but I have gotten so used to other poly gels that are harder and stiffer that this one is like really, it's not very hard. It's hard, but then once you put it on the nail and start to move it, it gets really creamy like, which is okay. I mean, it still hardens really well. But now I cure it at least for 2 minutes in my lamp. My UV LED lamp, especially if you don't know if your UV light is strong or not, or if you have a lamp that you've been using for a while, I would at least cure this for at least 2 minutes. But I'm going to be doing a nail couture on this, and on this hand I'll be doing another video, a different brand that I just recently got in. So alright, so I'm just going to be taking a little bit. I want you to see this. As you can see, it's really firm when you first take it out of the bottle. You can see it. And it's a gorgeous pink. I love this pink. Really, now this color is really, really good for ombre nail art. It's a little on the sheer side though once you start spreading it. As you can see, I do have a little bit of polish that I need to get off there first before I start doing that. I forgot to take off, so I'm just going to go around the edges here real fast, and I'm just going to get this polish off. So now this gel will start to move a little bit once you get it on your hand. I mean, you can put it on all 5 fingers, but you have to be very fast with it because it will start to move. I'm just going to... Now before I put this on, I'm actually going to be using a, this is, I can't say this name, I don't know. I'll put it in the link down below, but this came from AliExpress, and this is a base gel. Doesn't take a lot at all because it's really kind of thin. So just make sure that when you're applying this that you're not getting it in your cuticle at all. If you would like, you could probably put a cuticle latex on, and that would probably help keep from getting it in your cuticle. I'm just going to barely go around these edges and make sure that I get my naked nail. And I'm just going to put it on the back part. I'm not going to spread it all over the nail. Be very careful. Do not get this in your skin. So I'm going to quickly give this a cure. That way it'll have that tacky layer for the poly gel to stick to. I'll turn this sideways a little bit. That way it doesn't cure my gel here. So I just want you to see how it's setting on the brush now. Like it has self-leveled. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this on the nail. Now it has already self-leveled. Now when I first started doing Polygel, this was the brand that I used. Now I'm going to have to tell you, it is really expensive. It's like $30 a bottle. Let me come in a little closer so you can see. That way you can see what I'm doing. And I've already got my alcohol, but I'm going to drain this. I'm going to press down on both sides. I've got a hair right there, it's sticking out. It's okay though, because we'll fix that. But I'm just going to start pushing this down. First of all, I'm going to push it back. I'm just going to start pressing my sides in, because you want your side walls thin. You don't want it thick. But as you start working this, now according to Couture, you can also use monomer with your Polygel, which I have done. I've actually used Polygel and monomer with the Couture, but I like alcohol better because I feel like the monomer makes it sticky, which it's like this consistency changes as you're pushing it down. It gets really thin, like it gets soft. Once you get it where you want it, you just want to make sure that I start pulling mine away from my cuticle. I try to get as close as I can without touching my skin, and as flat as I can. And the good thing about Polygel, especially if it's a stiff Polygel, you don't have to do a whole lot of work with it. So now I'm just going to start pulling it down over this, making sure my apex is in place. And as you can see, it starts getting really creamy like. That's okay. I mean, it's still workable. Just be aware that, when it starts to change its consistency, it's easier to get into your cuticle. So just be very careful with it. Like I said, now this is an expensive Polygel. It's not, I would definitely buy it again. But I have to say, now I've had this bottle forever. It lasts forever. It just takes the smallest amount. I mean, I know that seems like a lot to pay $30 for a Polygel, especially when you can get some that are cheaper. I've ordered several from AliExpress as well that are a lot cheaper and do just as good. So I'm just pulling it down. That way I have that apex. And this is what I like about it, is that it does turn creamy, but I like that because it's very, very flawless to just spread it over the nail. So that looks pretty good to me. I feel like that's good, and as you can see, there is an apex there. I am going to pull a little bit down because I feel like it's too far back. And all I do is just start pulling it, and it starts to move. But now sometimes you can play with it too much, I feel like, and it'll make a big mess. But very, very easily, just pull it down. And just start feathering it down from the edge. Doesn't have to be perfect because you are going to be filing this. Just want to make sure that it's even. You want to look down your barrel. Make sure you've got it where you want it. Sorry, my screen is going to be, it's going to be a mess today. I feel like sometimes the alcohol does make it a little gooey like. Especially want to make sure that you have enough on your sidewalls. I'm just pulling it over because I feel like I need more on this side. I always keep looking down my barrel to make sure that it's, you know, even. I feel like I got too much on this side. Just going to press it in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and cure this because, like I said, I will be filing this down. Alright, so, sorry about that. So now before I even go on to the next nail, I like to remove that tacky layer. That way I don't take any chances of touching my skin or anything like that. Because my skin is really, really sensitive, so I have to be very, very, very careful. Let's see, and as you can see, my line ends right here, right before my cuticle does. And let me... Sorry guys, my camera's gonna be stupid today. Alright, so now I'm just gonna file around the back part here. I'll show you how I do this, how I file. It is a lot harder to apply this on yourself than it is applying it on someone else. It does take a lot longer, especially for me anyways. I always seem to take a lot longer when I'm doing it on myself. I'm going to start pulling it this way. That way it blends in with the... Now this Polygel is so soft to file, even after curing for 2 minutes, that you can literally do this with a file. You don't have to have a drill. If you don't have a drill, this is perfect. You most definitely can do this with a hand file. And if you don't like yours that thick, you can always take a drill and, you know, drill out the thickness if you want, which I eventually do in time. I always start fixing this part, but there it is. There is a nail. So, oh, pooey. Just stick my hand on that, I forgot. Try to clean my hand here. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to these nails. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. Just going to apply it towards the back. I'm going to show you what I mean by putting it on all your fingers. You can do this, but it's just going to take a little bit longer. Have to work a little bit faster. See, the formula is a little sticky. As I said, you have to be a little bit quicker with it because you don't want this getting in your cuticles. I like to wipe my polygel off of my tool, and actually I like to put the bag on it so that way I don't get it all over me. So all I have is some alcohol here. So I'm going to quickly wipe this layer off. That way I don't touch my skin. And another cool trick you can do really fast, just cure it for a minute. Take your pinching tool, go ahead and pinch these. That way they'll have that C curve. Make sure you have it on there even. Alright, so once again I'm just going to make sure I got all that off. All the tacky layer off. And lastly, I'm going to be doing my little pinky. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this polygel, that way I don't cure it. Like I said, I've got several of these bottles. They run specials sometimes around Christmas and stuff, so it's usually when I get mine when there's a 20% off or something like that. You just always have to keep checking because they're always, you know, doing something, it seems like, at the Couture. And really fast, I just want to look at it real fast because I feel like I got a lifted part right here that I didn't finish filing. So that's what I've gotten so far, and now I'm going to file these up. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like, the finished product. It looked really good, they turned out really good. Love that pink. You could just wear it alone like this if you want. Stay tuned and I'll be doing some nail art on these. Thanks a lot guys. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I will link everything down below for you guys. I do like this Polygel, but like I said, I do have to remind you guys that, you know, the consistency is a lot different than some Polygels. It's a lot softer than some Polygels, which are a lot harder than this. I really like their products. You know, they are a little on the expensive side, I guess I should say. You know, but it lasts us for a long time. These are 60-gram tubes, and I will. What was I gonna say? Shucks. Anyways, thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. I love you guys. Bye.